Making a grip on the sleeves, unlocking our legs, but never having our legs out wide, always nice and pinchy, okay? So we don't want them to be able to know if our legs are uncrossed or open. From here, bridging up and doing a nice big hip escape, making a Y with our knees, okay? And my knee goes to the back of my other knee so that I can still pinch this way against Laura's hips. Now I can open up one knee, post off of her hip so I can turn to the other side, bring them both in, nice and tight tension here. So I don't want my knees in nice and narrow, I want my arms pulling and my knees flared out. So that she's like, I'm like the puppet master. Now from here, I'm going to pick a side. Whatever side I go, I'm going to keep the tension on the arm and just kick my leg straight, putting her hand in the pocket. Now what I'm going to do, here, I retract my knee, finding her hip, and I clamp like I'm making a Laura sandwich, okay? Now, from here, there's obviously an attack on the arm. So I can attack the wrist, I can push straight up, get the arm bar. So as soon as I push up and put tension on it, but the smartest reaction for her is to hide her arm, which is what we want. I'm going to make sure the elbow's at my hip, and now all I'm going to do is extend this leg to come over the top. Now we had a couple of people struggling with this a little bit last week, so this extending of the leg, not only does it help me get my leg over the head, but it also acts as like a pendulum, okay? Because I want to cut an angle off to the side. So when I extend my leg, it helps me move out to the side. So I can build up to an elbow here. This is always strongest when my elbow and my shoulder are in line. So at the moment, they're not. As soon as I bring them out in line, now I can sit up, pulling on the elbow, and now my knee just slides straight out to here, okay? So like we just did in the warm-up, if we do get stuck, as I'm entering into my omoplata and Laura postures up, all I've got to do, just like we did in the warm-up, my legs are crossed, I just extend. We use our same warm-up move. Now, when I get to here, I want to grab some sort of fabric. If I can reach under, good. If I just start to pull out a lapel, whatever I'm doing, I want to make sure I've got a nice bit of fabric here. Now what I'm going to do, here, like we did our hip switches, from here, I can retract. You'll notice at the moment I'm sitting on my bum. I want to get onto my hip that's closest to Laura, okay? Because if I try to break her posture down from here, it's kind of hard. But as soon as I get onto my hip that's closest to Laura, and I'm putting all this pressure on her shoulder, not only does it make it hard for her to front roll, but now as I start to hip away, she starts to come with me, moving, moving, moving. The key detail as well we had from last week was not having our legs splayed like this. Instead, I want my knee underneath the elbow so I get it nice and strong here. And all we're going to finish, once I've controlled the lapel, leaning over, I'm popping up to the balls of my feet to separate Laura's arm from her back, and now I'm slowly coming forward to get the tap. For those that haven't done it, safety-wise, to get out of this or let your partner out, never stand up going forward. Always roll backwards, let our legs come out. Okay. So that was a pretty long-winded explanation. I can't go in and do anything else. Okay. So as Laura front rolls, I'm following. Okay. Last week we were looking at obviously when I didn't follow, and I've just gone straight into arm bars. So this week I've followed, and I've come up onto my knee, but I'm up on my foot here, okay? So I'm going to block her hip and drop to my knee. So our first, well, let's talk about this arm first. The reason I've got this arm here is because I want to block Laura's hips. One of the most annoying things people do, especially if you're holding on the elbow, you're getting real keen. Especially someone like Laura, they reach back in and they throw their legs around it. Yeah, and we get caught in this debacle. All right, so we don't want that. So I'm going to put something in place here. So now whenever Laura tries to do it, my arm blocks it. Cool? So our first and our easiest one is called the baby arm bar. So here I'm just going to triangle my legs, just turn a little bit so everyone can see. Just shift back a little bit, you don't have to have your hips. Cool. There we go, we get there in the end. So first one, all I'm going to do, holding the wrist, just push it against my leg, and I've got my first arm bar. Okay? So, look at this one. This one's really basic. So I've got in my armbar, my omoplata, good hold to the elbow, hands always in the pocket. As she rolls, I follow, and I roll over to my knees. You can see that as you follow, you naturally just go to your knees, so it's a pretty quick armbar, fold the arm, boom, first one. That's pretty simple, so I'm going to give you something a little bit more. Once I've blocked the hip, okay, holding under the elbow, I'm going to do a back step. So for this one, I'm going to go around the corner. So here, I go around the corner, and I'm going to make sure her arm's like a bit of wood and my leg's the axe. So I'm going to chop. Okay, I'm not going to have my leg out nice and loose. I'm going to chop and keep forward to the other side. And now, when I get in my omoplata, you can see that her posture's completely broken. I'm already leaning onto the bit of fabric. The elbow's propped right up, so it's super easy for me to, as I've been showing a few of the girls, to have my second knee underneath. And now from here, it's a real tight omoplata. So from here, again, I'm just leaning forward, and the tap's almost instantaneous. So again, we get to our knees. So if I want to come up from here, this is where we use like our warm-up move where I extend and come up. However, when I'm coming into the position that we're working to from here, I want to keep my legs triangled so that as Laura rolls, it's just straight to my knees. Okay, if I extend my legs out, this makes this a little bit hard. So, we've looked at now, here, blocking the hip and coming round the corner, all right? So, because we've got a bit of a variation, like a bit of in skill level here, I'm going to give 2. So, if you are comfortable with the more advanced one, give it a try, but if you're not, don't feel bad. We cater for everyone. So, Laura, let's turn around a little bit. So, the first one we're going to do is going to be the exact same type of setup as what we've just done. I'm blocking my hip, I'm holding under the elbow. As I back step here, okay, I've got this arm all nice and trapped. A lot of the time, we're going to look at when they get their second arm and they start to block against my leg, okay, because the omoplata is not the only threat here. I can start going to triangles, all sorts of things here. So as soon as I see this, I'm going to lean forward over the elbow, grab, because here she's like trying to push my leg, get me going over, whatever. I'm going to grab the back of the elbow and I'm going to extend my leg as I hold the elbow to pop it out, okay? Now I come in, and this is called like the shotgun armbar, because I've got this arm all tangled up, I've got this one here, and I can literally just explode my hip in like a shotgun here, bang, and I get the tap here. And obviously, if you're doing this, I can also, there's all sorts of arm bars here, grab my collar, whatever. Be very mindful of this one because I've got both the arms tied up. So if you're on the bottom, you either need to do a verbal tap or stamp your leg, okay? So again, it's the same from the back step, only as I'm coming through the back step, I'm trying to chop my wood. Laura grabs my leg and I feel like I'm gonna fall. I grab the elbow, pluck at the elbow. I'm gonna pull the arm and kick my leg. Now just bring it back up. Got both the arms controlled. Obviously now I can lean, drive my hips through for an armbar finish. Okay? So that's our basic one.
Turn around.
Yeah. This angle good? Or you want me to go another? Oh. So here, exact same setup as what we've just done. So we're not adding anything that new. Do my back step. I'm going to chop my wood. Yeah, and we'll just hold my leg. I feel real off balance. So I'll lean over the elbow so she can't get this guy back. Find the tricep, point at the tricep, and I kick my leg straight while I pull up. Now I come up, I've got her arm, and obviously I've got an arm up here.
If you're sitting on your
elbow, right?
Yep, it's fine. Sit away. I can deal.
Now, just saying, driving my hips through, pulling the arm up.
Is your knee pressure on her face?
Not at the moment.
No, his pressure's on my stomach.
Yeah, pretty heavy.
It's very uncomfortable.
Yeah, obviously, like if this was like a competition or something, I'd 100% Now, if everyone is comfortable with the front roll, Laura can roll. We just looked about going around the corner. Now we're going to go down the road, okay? So down the road is this way, around the corners, obviously around the corner. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to take my right arm and my shoulder is going to meet my knee. Now I can do this the same way as before. My elbow comes down, my shoulder follows. I do my roll, and now I'm back in my omoplata. And back to where we started. Cool? So our back step is around the corner. My Laura front roll.